This police officer ordered several of the most expensive dishes in the restaurant, but when it was time to pay the bill, he realized he had forgotten to bring any money. The waitress thought he was trying to skip out on the bill and said angrily, "Do policemen get to eat without paying?" This statement made Charlie feel incredibly embarrassed, yet he was not the type to take advantage. To prove himself, he pulled out a lottery ticket he had just bought, saying,
"If this ticket wins, I'll come back tomorrow and split the proceeds. And if it doesn't, I'll still come back and leave you a tip. What do you think?"
I think I'm never going to see you again.
"You'll see me tomorrow."
Well, I'll be here.
You got a deal.
But Yvonne didn't take this matter to heart at all. What shocked Charlie was that when the lottery was drawn that evening, this very ticket actually won the jackpot, a fortune even reaching $64 million. Charlie's wife Muriel was so excited she danced around. Even after accounting for the other winners that day, they would still receive a massive prize of $4 million, a sum of wealth sufficient to completely change their lives. Charlie, however, couldn't be happy, because he had promised during the day that if he won, he would give half of the prize money to that Yvonne. After a long internal struggle, Charlie finally decided to confess everything to his wife. Muriel's emotions spiraled out of control the moment she found out, because she knew exactly what kind of man her husband was. Charlie had spent his whole life helping others. While on duty, he was brave and fearless, dutifully catching thieves and protecting the city's peace. After work, he would go to the orphanage, patiently teaching the children there how to play baseball. If he saw a blind person crossing the street, he would immediately step in to help. He could even help deliver a baby if he encountered a woman in labor. But despite all the good deeds he did, he still earned a meager salary, and he never forgot to make monthly donations. Muriel, however, was completely different from Charlie. She was extremely selfish and critical, even criticizing Charlie in front of customers, calling him stubborn and inflexible.
If he was on the take, at least I would say okay.
That morning, after having a good dream and acting on a whim, Muriel commanded Charlie to use their wedding anniversary numbers to buy a lottery ticket. But fate seemed to play a joke. Charlie bought the wrong numbers. The wedding anniversary was the 27th, but he bought the 26th. Muriel was just about to explode at him when she discovered that the wrong ticket had actually won the grand prize. Her emotions were like a roller coaster, but her joy hadn't lasted more than a few minutes before Charlie mentioned his promise to Yvonne. Muriel instantly flew into a rage, firmly opposing Charlie giving away $2 million. In her view, this was a betrayal of their marriage and family, a ruthless blow to their dreams. She yelled at Charlie, using every harsh word she could. Yet Charlie remained unmoved. His integrity and sense of commitment wouldn't let him ignore his promise to Yvonne. Seeing her husband so stubborn, Muriel changed tactics and began playing the emotional card.
Do you love me?
Of course I love you.
Then stifle and smell the flowers. For me.
After a long night, Charlie was still hesitant because he had never told a lie in his life. But he also had to consider his wife's feelings. To ease his guilt, he prepared $5,000 and a thoughtful small gift, hoping it could make amends in some way. However, when Charlie walked into that familiar little shop, the story took an unexpected turn. Yvonne actually spoke up first to apologize.
I really want to apologize for yesterday. I was so rude. It's just that it was pretty much the worst day of my life, from start to finish.
Yvonne, let's go. Wake up.
It turned out that because Yvonne had wanted to become a stage actress since childhood, she came to New York alone to pursue her dream. Yet reality was like an unfinished play. Several years passed in a flash, and she was still just a waitress in a restaurant. Even more unfortunate, Yvonne became trapped in a nightmare romance. The man who once promised her the world ultimately vanished without a trace, taking her savings and credit cards with him. Yvonne's world seemed to collapse overnight. She didn't even have enough funds to sue for divorce and was eventually declared bankrupt by the court. She had just left the courthouse when it started raining heavily, and her umbrella broke at the worst time. Soaked from the rain, she returned home so poor she could only eat a sandwich without sauce. Then rushing to work at the restaurant, she was late and had her full attendance bonus docked. It could be said Yvonne's luck had hit rock bottom, yet even so, she never lost hope in life. Her optimism and resilience filled Charlie with immense admiration and sympathy, so he couldn't bear to deceive such a girl. He then took out the carefully prepared small gift. It was a beautiful eyeglass chain. Yesterday, Charlie noticed Yvonne was always losing her glasses, and this chain might help solve that little problem. Yvonne hadn't been this happy in a very long time. Charlie then mentioned yesterday's agreement and also gave the choice to Yvonne.
How about we make it your choice? Door number 1, double the tip. Door number 2, half of what I won in the lottery.
Yvonne sensed Charlie's gentle nature, especially after receiving his small gift, so she didn't want to take any advantage of Charlie. Because of this, Yvonne decided to choose the lottery ticket with the extremely low odds of winning.
We won something? What did we win?
$4 million.
Hearing this, Yvonne thought Charlie was just joking, but seeing Charlie's sincere gaze, she couldn't help but confirm again.
A promise is a promise.
Oh my God.
You all right?
Discovering she had truly won the big prize, joy instantly surged through her. Excitedly, she ran to every customer in the shop, giving them warm hugs and generously announcing that all consumption in the shop that day was on her. Moreover, each customer would receive an extra portion of ice cream. Yvonne's sudden act of generosity caught the shop manager off guard. He hurriedly grabbed the ledger to keep accounts, afraid he might miss a single cent. Seeing Yvonne so happy, the weight finally lifted from Charlie's heart. But explaining this to his own wife was difficult for Charlie. When Muriel found out about this, she immediately began scolding Charlie fiercely. But Charlie knew his wife's vanity well. He told her that when they got to the award stage, he would have her personally donate the $2 million to Yvonne. If this news got out, it would surely cause a sensation nationwide. By then, she would also become famous and might even land advertising deals. Such gains could never be measured by $2 million. Hearing Charlie's suggestion, Muriel's face immediately lit up with a smile, thinking it was a brilliant idea. On the day of the award ceremony, the media world was in a frenzy. They had all come because the Charlie couple was donating $2 million to a waitress. Muriel, freshly dressed up, rushed forward eagerly, afraid of missing any camera shot. Facing Yvonne's enthusiastic hug, Muriel felt disgust inside, but under the public gaze, she had to maintain an elegant image, even cleverly using the opportunity to promote their shop's shampoo products. As the wave of public opinion surged, the heartwarming story of the officer giving a waitress a huge tip quickly topped the trending charts, becoming the hot topic discussed everywhere. Behind this glamorous facade, Muriel's true nature gradually surfaced. She visited the most luxurious shops daily, yet never bought Charlie a single new piece of clothing, while Charlie, like her attendant, always carried bags full of her shopping. But when Charlie tried to give some change to a homeless person, Muriel would always mercilessly take the money back. The moment Muriel turned away, he would quietly slip it back. In contrast, Yvonne maintained her rare simplicity and discipline even after unexpectedly gaining this fortune. After clearing all her debts one by one, she felt an unprecedented sense of relief and freedom, as if breaking free from shackles that had bound her for so long. Just as she was preparing to embrace her new life, however, her ex-husband Eddie tried to contact her again, but luckily Yvonne decisively changed her phone number this time. She then bought the restaurant where she once worked and fired the former boss. Inside the restaurant, she specially set up a seat named Charlie, offering free meals to hungry and helpless homeless people. From then on, her life became peaceful and content. But ever since then, Charlie's and Yvonne's life paths almost never crossed again. Life seemed destined to continue in peaceful routine until one unexpected event shattered that tranquility. One day, Charlie walked into a grocery store and found all the customers frozen in place, their fearful eyes betraying a sense of danger. Sensing trouble, Charlie first retreated outside to avoid confrontation. After a brief exchange with his partner, they decided to sneak in through the back door. To avoid harming innocent bystanders, he holstered his gun and instead grabbed a soda can from the shelf, hurling it forcefully at the robbers. Although he successfully hit the robber still pulled the trigger. Without a moment's hesitation, Charlie immediately lunged at the second robber. By the time backup police arrived at the scene, Charlie realized he had been shot in the shoulder. Thus, Charlie, who had recently gained fame because of the lottery, once again became the focus of public attention for bravely subduing the robbers. Medals and honors followed one after another, and early retirement naturally became an option before him. Charlie, however, remained humble. He first thanked his wife for her companionship and support, then announced news that shocked his wife.
So I'd like to announce that I'll be donating $10,000 to the Policeman's Widows Fund.
Muriel's face instantly turned pale upon hearing this. When Charlie returned home after completing the donation procedures, He found the entire house being torn apart for renovation. His wife feared she wouldn't have time to enjoy the money before Charlie donated it all. All of this left Charlie feeling bewildered, so he could only confide in his good friend Bo. It was during this process that he spotted that familiar restaurant.
Go in, say hello.
Oh, forget it. She's busy.
Come on, man, I know you dying to go in there.
That evening, the lottery company hosted a cruise ship party, inviting many winners to join the celebration. At this party, a financial expert became the center of attention. Everyone eagerly sought profits, with Muriel especially active in participating. Charlie, however, had no interest in this at all. As time passed, the rift between the couple became increasingly apparent. At that moment, Charlie happened to see Yvonne nearby, who had also come to the party, but she encountered a small problem. She had forgotten to bring enough small change to pay the taxi fare, and the driver couldn't break a large bill, leaving Yvonne stuck. Seeing this, Charlie immediately helped her out of the predicament.
Repeat after me. Keep the change.
Keep the change.
Thank you.
In that brief moment, however, the cruise ship had already begun to sail away. Yvonne felt deeply sorry about this.
Hey, she's in her element. Stockbrokers, CPAs, she'll probably have a time of her life.
What about you?
I hate bows.
In fact, Charlie's words weren't wrong. His wife had already fallen into a frenzy, completely obsessed with the pursuit of money, unaware that Charlie wasn't even on the cruise ship. Afterwards, Charlie and Yvonne found a restaurant to wait for the cruise ship's return. Over the meal, they talked about their pasts. Muriel was his first love. They met in middle school, and despite their usual arguments, they ultimately entered marriage together. Life after marriage, however, was not happy. Muriel had always refused to have children because of Charlie's poor financial situation. Yvonne also shared her own experience of failed marriage. In that moment, they found resonance in each other's stories. In a restaurant next door, a newlywed couple happened to be holding their wedding celebration. Watching their happy expressions, Yvonne couldn't help but sigh.
Are they going to be happy?
Charlie, however, couldn't offer an answer. The wedding gradually approached its end, and the newlyweds and relatives began dancing close together. In this joyful atmosphere, Charlie and Yvonne were also swept up. As the music started softly, they stepped hand in hand onto the dance floor. Led by the melody, their distance quietly closed, yet they maintained an appropriate boundary. They understood this was just a chance encounter, and becoming friends was the best possible outcome. While Charlie felt disappointed and confused by his wife's actions, he still held onto a sliver of hope. He believed his wife was just momentarily lost, and might soon find her way back. After seeing Yvonne off, Charlie returned to the cruise ship. Muriel, meanwhile, had decided to entrust all their funds to the wealthy investor Jack, and Charlie voiced no objection to this. Muriel's investment plan seemed not to affect Charlie. In the following days, Charlie and Yvonne participated in public welfare activities together. They first came to the train station, offering free rides. Though it was only a small act of charity, it genuinely warmed people's weary hearts. Then they booked out the entire baseball field, inviting the neighborhood children to enjoy a fun weekend. During this process, the feelings between Charlie and Yvonne quietly began to change. But when Charlie returned to the town with the children, he faced a fierce reaction from Muriel. A photo of Charlie and Yvonne together at the subway station had appeared in the newspaper. Muriel accused Charlie of cheating without any investigation and yelled that Charlie was from the bottom rung of society.
I want a divorce.
You want a divorce?
As soon as possible. I have wings, Charlie. I want to fly.
Just like that, Charlie was heartlessly thrown out of his home. At the same time, Yvonne faced her own trouble. Her ex-husband, learning she had received a large sum of money, came looking for her like a shark smelling blood, threatening not to leave unless she shared the money. But Yvonne was determined not to yield to any coercion anymore, so she resolutely packed her bags and left her home. Yet fate's design was brimming with unexpected turns. Charlie and Yvonne crossed paths at the exact same hotel.
Sir, can I help you?
Even more coincidentally, they were placed in adjacent rooms. Their long time together had already planted budding affection in their hearts. But out of loyalty to their marriages, they had kept these feelings deeply buried. Now that all their restraints were gone, that hidden love finally broke through the surface, beginning to blossom under the starlit night. The next day, they walked out of the hotel hand in hand, only to be suddenly surrounded by a crowd of reporters. It turned out these reporters were sent by Muriel. During the divorce negotiations, Charlie chose to leave with nothing, relinquishing all property. However, he didn't realize that excessive compromise would only make Muriel greedier. Now, Muriel not only falsely accused him of infidelity before the lottery win, but also resorted to legal means to forcibly reclaim the $2 million he had gifted to Yvonne. Muriel's shameless words and actions completely enraged Charlie.
It's not like this. Why are you doing this? Just to get even with Yvonne? She didn't do anything wrong. You know that.
I'm tired of this physical abuse from you. Did you see that?
An impulsive act in the heat of the moment also saddled Charlie with the stigma of domestic violence. To prevent the situation from worsening further, the newly established couple had no choice but to separate temporarily. During the court proceedings, however, Charlie found himself in an extremely unfavorable position. Muriel claimed her father had appeared in her dream and told her the winning lottery numbers while portraying Charlie as a violent husband who forced his wife to split the money with a waitress. Facing these baseless accusations, Charlie was at a loss and struggled to mount an effective rebuttal. Ultimately, under Muriel's meticulously orchestrated attack, Charlie lost the case. Not only was his reputation damaged, but he was also forced to return the already gifted $2 million. In an instant, an upright police officer became a violent man in the public eye, and a waitress was labeled a homewrecker. They were besieged by a storm of public opinion, nearly swallowed by the torrent of condemnation. Later, Charlie went to Yvonne's home but never saw any sign of Yvonne. He then sat at the subway station for a very long time, his thoughts swirling, until he eventually found himself wandering to that familiar restaurant. Under the moonlight, he saw Yvonne's somewhat heavy silhouette. He wanted to go forward and comfort her, but unexpectedly, Yvonne urged him to leave quickly.
Why can't you understand that? If you don't want me, that's different. If you don't want me, I'll walk right out that door and you'll never see me again. But please stop talking about the money. It means nothing to me. You want me to go?
Just as they were immersed in each other's tenderness, a homeless man knocked on the restaurant door, begging them for food. Feeling compassion, they quickly brought out steaming soup for the homeless man. Then Charlie and Yvonne began discussing escaping the city. What they didn't know was that the homeless man was actually a renowned investigative journalist. He had been secretly following Charlie and Yvonne. Using the story of the lottery-winning couple and their selfless acts of kindness as clues, he wrote a deeply moving report. This report put Charlie and Yvonne's names back on the front pages of major media outlets, deeply touching countless readers. The couple, however, knew nothing about any of this. On the day they planned to leave, they wanted one last look at the restaurant. But the moment they opened the door, they were stunned by the mountain of mail piled inside. They opened the letters one by one, finding them filled with encouragement and blessings from all corners, along with donations ranging from $1 to $10. This continuous stream of letters made them feel the warmth and care of humanity. Charlie and Yvonne spent 3 full days sorting and organizing the mail, ultimately discovering the total donations amounted to a staggering $600,000. Afterwards, they successfully used that money to buy back the restaurant. Muriel also got her wish and married Jack. Yet in a twist of fate, Jack vanished with all the money the very next day. And in the heart of the city, a wedding hot air balloon slowly rose into the sky. Charlie and Yvonne scattered their invitations like flower petals into the New York air, the cards fluttering like a vivid painting across the skyline. This moment not only captured the sweetness of their love, but also turned their romance into a legendary tale that would be told for generations. The story is adapted from true events. In 1984, a New York policeman won the lottery and gave half the prize money to a waitress he'd met only once, solely to keep his promise, with no other motive. Though the real-life story might not have the dramatic twists of the movie, in this materialistic society, money is not merely a medium of exchange. It becomes a chisel that sculpts one's character and a mirror reflecting the depths of the human heart. Many marriages entered without deep thought often stem from momentary impulse and passion, while those truly happy and fulfilling unions are built upon careful consideration and long-term mutual understanding. Thus, in the vast ocean of love, maintaining clarity and rationality at all times is truly a rare and precious thing. Everyone hopes to be fortunate enough to meet that person whose heart beats in sync with their own. because only such a person could become the true turning point in our lives, writing a new chapter of destiny with us.